Hi, I'm Karen Yowzy.
And I'm Barbara Linscott.
When I met Barbara, it was when I first started working at McKnight, and I started in the middle of the year and met Barbara, and she was in another classroom at the time.
There's a teacher assistant in the room next door.
Okay, yeah. Well, after going to the boot camp and learning more about how to change the way we look at invitations, I think that was the biggest piece for me. That ability just to invite somebody casually who want to come to church wasn't necessarily working anymore. And so we talked about the member guest events, which was getting together with a small group of people. And so we hosted at my house, me and a couple other members of the Vitality group, a cookie making activity. We kind of piggybacked off Judy's cookie ministry and said, let's make some cookies and we can talk while we make cookies. And then we wanted to donate those cookies and give those cookies away. And Barbara was one of the folks invited at that time to the house.
Well, the cookie making event, Natasha actually invited me to come and bake cookies, and I like to bake. That's something I like to do, so I was excited about coming and making cookies. I didn't really know what all was going to happen, but it was fun. I had a good time. I was excited to go to the cookie event. I didn't know how many people would be there, and it was at Karen's house, so I was very comfortable going to Karen's and meeting people. I knew Natasha would be there, I knew Karen would be there. They said there may be some other, I think Melissa was there that day. So I was very comfortable. Said we were just going to make cookies and have a good time, and that's what we did, and I just was very comfortable with that.
Well, whenever we were getting ready for everybody to come over to the house, and I felt like I needed to get everything just perfect. And I think after everybody got there, and you can chime in, but after everybody got there, it was just, hey, we're just going to stand in the kitchen and make cookies. We messed up the recipe once. We had to go back and fix it. And we just had snacks, and it was just a casual time to just talk, and nobody really cared.
We laughed, and we had a good time, and it was. We hoped that the cookies came out okay. They tasted good when they were finished.
They did taste good.
Okay, they're good. They're edible. We're not going to take anybody out with them. It was fun. We did have a good time.
It was. And it was relaxing.
Yeah, very relaxing.
Well, after we had the cookie event, Barbara was able to come. Some of the other folks that we had invited were not able to come. I still think we had a good time, but we wanted to do it again and continue to build those relationships. And so we actually had the idea of doing a spa day since we had had so much fun with the cookies. So we actually had a massage therapist come in. We had some folks from the church there painting nails. A friend of mine came in to do makeup. And we invited a few more folks. Barbara was able to come back. And we just had an afternoon of pampering, I guess, to say.
Just with the ladies, and especially in my situation, I live with all boys. I don't get much chance to pamper myself, so it was fun. And I knew from the first event, I thought, this will be fun. I was looking forward to it. And then when I went, there was several more members of the church there, and they were all so welcoming to me, and I felt very comfortable from the very beginning. So I knew this was an area that I wanted to go, but I just needed to make sure that I felt comfortable for me and the boys and my whole family. But more so the boys, I knew they would be with me in whatever we did. So, and that's kind of how it started. And I had no idea where the church was.
So before that event was over, we were cleaning up and had some things that we needed to bring back this way to the church. And so I said, Barbara, you want to take a ride with me? We don't live that far. We talked about, if she were to come down, how she might go as far as directions, and but coming to somewhere you've never been before, and knowing where to park and not wanting to stand out to be the different person here. I said, let's just ride by the church, see where it's at. Sometimes if you know what you're walking into, just what does it look like? And so we rode by the church. Rode through the parking lot.
We came through the parking lot, And it was, and that helped a lot because, like I said, I knew where I was going. I've gone to several churches in the area, but they've always been those, like the huge mega churches. I'd go with my friend, and well, you know, the ones where they have like a whole computer set up to check your children in. And I was like, no, you didn't know anybody that was there. I mean, she'd gone for a long time and didn't know probably more than 10 people. And I was okay with going there, but you know, that one was okay too because I could slide under the radar. You know, nobody knew who I was. I could go and worship and feel like I could slide back out. But on the same token, I didn't feel like I was making a connection. So.
Well, I would say as far as the invitation goes, that after we had the cookie event, you know, I think there was that casual, you know, why don't you come to church sometime if you ever want to come. You know, we started at 11. But then after you came for the spa event, you actually had a chance to meet a few other folks with the church and could see where the church was at.
Right.
It was more of a specific invitation of, you know, would you like to come this Sunday?
Right.
Or, you know, when do you think you might be able to come with your family? Because you had it, by that point, if I remember correctly, had expressed,
Yeah.
I'd like to get back into it, just not sure when's the right time.
Right, yeah, and when I started to feel more comfortable that I could come with the boys and make more of a commitment. And I do think that the spa event and meeting more of the members, that made my comfort level a lot higher. I was, you know, very comfortable when to come up and, you know, actually start to come to church. And because once we started, you're stuck with us.
Love it.
We first started coming Easter of 2013. It was the first Easter Sunday was when we came. And we started on a regular basis right about then. We came back because we felt comfortable. My boys and I were welcomed right away, and they went down into Sunday school classes, and I went to Sunday school class. And I think the fact that things were very casual, I didn't feel like I was being looked at for what outfit I had on, or and the boys were welcome. They just joined right in, and it was something that was important. I wanted them to feel like they belonged somewhere, not just they weren't just going to church. And that's kind of how we just kept coming, and you know, we've always felt like we've been part of it since. One of the things that has warmed my heart, because I've kind of, at the beginning, I felt like it was me bringing my family. The boys have been welcomed, and it's been great to hear them say, are we going to our church? It's, you know, my church. I go to Rock Grove, that's my church. Even my husband has said our church at Rock Grove, and he doesn't get a chance to come with us as often because of his work schedule, but he is very comfortable here.
I don't think before boot camp, I would have been comfortable asking Barbara to come to church more than, hey, why don't you stop by sometime? And clearly through boot camp, I've been able to see that kind of invitation isn't what people need. And even though Barbara and I knew each other at work, did I have that right or that position to invite her to church to where she would feel it was genuine? And I think through those member guest events and a little bit of time just to spend getting to know somebody a little bit better, and then having the confidence to invite her, that grew my faith, and that, you know, helped me get closer, because, you know, God did tell us to go out and find others and to go out and tell others about God. And that's something I've always been nervous, scared, not confident in doing that. And so, as I say, the member guest made Barbara more comfortable. The member guest made me more comfortable in giving that invitation. And I could not be happier that Barbara is now a member here with us at Rock Grove, and that her family is comfortable here.
I think the process too has made it, you all made it comfortable for me to come in my time.
Absolutely.
I never felt like that if I didn't come, it wasn't like, oh, she's not coming, and shun me. So, it was. I've always felt welcome, and I always felt that it was my decision for my family, and that I've always felt welcome, and I'm very thankful for you right now. I started thinking about baptism very early on in our coming here to Rock Grove. It was something to me that was always very important to me. In my heart, I felt I wanted to be baptized and to have a home to come to and say, this is my church. So I didn't really know what was involved, though. Honestly, that was what kind of held me back. And I had mentioned it, I believe, to you, and we said we would talk about it, and how that will incorporate the boys at some point. And my husband's already been baptized, so I just kind of feel like it puts us together and gives us a place to have a home.